All right, same as usual, we're back. Another big update. I'm actually past my personal deadline that I set to get this car done. Not completely done, but I told myself I wanted to get it mechanically done and at least the body pieces on before last weekend, which was Easter weekend. And the reason is because I still have a month and a half until our baby comes, our third baby, and so I need a month and a half to put together their room. So anyways, I'm still gonna do that. I'm getting started on it this weekend, but I've been putting in some late nights trying to get some more stuff done. The last video that we did, we showed that I actually got the car on the ground with one fender on and went down the street, and then it came back up, and I was like, okay, that's a big success. And then there was some scraping going on, and just as I thought, I jacked it up, and it was the passenger front dust shield was scraping on the bottom where I didn't see it. So I bent that back out, and it's smooth now. I haven't driven it again yet. I went ahead and just started doing a lot more work. So this is the work that I've done. We'll just show it off, see if we can. Bam. All right, so big update here. The front end is on. There was just no time left for me to sit there and record the process of aligning all the panels and everything, but I was very surprised and excited on how easy it went together. Usually when you pull off everything, the hood, the fenders, and the core support, you spend a long time trying to get everything aligned back, even when you make your own marks. Now we're throwing in a wagon with an M3 hood and a different bumper support and a bumper and custom fenders, which we'll get into later. So these fenders are from Atilla, and Atilla is in Hungary, and he is like the M3 wagon master. In a previous video, I had shown off the fenders that he shipped me from Hungary, and they're carbon fiber, and they're actually made from a mold that was created from a set of genuine metal fenders. He had a body shop create metal fenders, which was a hybrid of sedan and M3 coupe fenders. And once he had those fitted properly, he had a mold made of it. And then that mold is what was used to create these. And the fitment was pretty darn good. If you can see here, we got some pretty decent panel gaps between the door and the fender. We got pretty decent gaps here on the hood line. Pretty good gaps here on the bumper. It's hard to see because the fender is carbon fiber and the bumper is silver from the convertible. So it's a huge contrast. It makes it look like there's nothing there because it's just so dark. So anyways, pretty good gaps here. I can do a little bit more fine tuning, but I was just excited to get all this slapped on. Good panel gaps there. And as you can see here, one cool thing was when I put this front end on, everything just kind of lined up like I wanted it to. The gap for the headlight trim is in the right spot for the hood. The good gap right here on the hood and the bumper. Same gap here. Nice gap there. And that's because on the Kevlar support, I did epoxy all the foam pieces back where they're supposed to be and fixed all the ball sockets. Then on the ball sockets, I also put grease, like just grease, so that it goes in and out very easily. And it looks good. It looks really good. So here we have a front end on. One thing you do have to do when you get these fenders is you have to custom make your fender trim. So on my red M3 sedan, those fenders are from 2M AutoWorks. Their fenders were also made from a mold that was made from metal fenders that were sedan and M3 fenders. Everybody does things differently. People cut things differently, they weld things differently. The final outcome may be the same general shape, but it won't be exactly a one-to-one if one person does it and another person does it. And so on my fenders, the sedan fender trim just fit, and all I had to do was cut a hole out for the side marker. But on this fender, just the way that they blended their original mold, the sedan half and the M3 half, this distance right here is shorter than on my red car. You can't see it unless you put them right next to each other, but it's enough to notice, especially when you go to put the fender trim on and the fender trim was like sticking out way back here. So what I did was I left this part alone because this is kind of delicate. I don't want to mess with that since it's kind of important with the way the door opens. I opted to cut the front off, and I did just a lot of measuring and a lot of trial and error and a lot of test fitting. And then once I got it the right shape, I just shaved it down with a belt sander, slowly, little by little, until I got the right shape to kind of fit that little cutout. And then once I did that, I was able to cut a hole out in the back of this fender, and I have pictures that I'll plug in that I took with my phone, so I'll plop them into the video, maybe as an overlay somewhere around here. So that you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But the hole right here is one size on the trim, and then the hole in the fender is a smaller size so that it can take advantage of the spring clips on the M3 side marker light. And then this fender trim allowed me to use one clip here and one modified clip here that has the third leg chopped off, and then it still snaps in on the top here, here, here. So the trim still snaps into place. This is what do you call it, just a press fit into here, like interference fit, so it's a pretty tight fit. And then it also has spring clips holding it into here, so it's not going anywhere. I don't really want to glue them together if I don't have to. I think it'll be fine. It's the way it is in my red car, and it's fine. So anyways, and then I did have to do some modifying here. I had to just put this grill in, and once I put the grill in, it doesn't clip in like a factory one. So I had to just see where the little tabs were, make lines to where they are, and then make relief cutouts on the carbon fiber lip that's on the inside, little cutouts for these teeth to grab onto. So when I push this in, it actually snaps in and it doesn't come out. So I did that on both sides. That took, God, like 5 hours today. It's so frustrating when you think you're making good progress, and then you look up and you guys started at 10 in the morning, and then when you're done, it's like 5. You're like, wow, a lot of time passed. So anyways, let's take a walk around here. Take another look at the car, but the overall stance of the car is looking really good. I got the M3 side skirts on too. I got a good fit on those, and it's actually a pretty good length right here, and a pretty good length right here. So coupe fenders are a little shorter than sedan fender. Coupe side skirts are a little shorter than sedan side skirts, and so when you put them on, naturally they're a little short, and it'll be really short here or really short up there. So you kind of split the difference and you put it somewhere in the middle, so it's like a very, very minimal here and very minimal up front. Visually, you can't really tell. Yep. So today, or tonight actually, we're going to be working on the carbon air box. So I need to get this engine bay cleaned up. The engine runs, it's fine, but I need to get my air box in there. So I have my Jeff Steele air box. It's over here. This is what I originally had on my red car before I went turbo. This is a V1 Jeff Steele carbon airbox. Super old, probably one of the first clones out there from many years ago. But I love it, and I'm glad that it's still in the family and I got to keep it because it was my first major engine mod I ever purchased. So I got that airbox there. I got my original BMW snorkel back right here. And when I bought this back in 2017 or 2018, this was only like $460. Now, if you can find it, they're like $1,200. It's insane. So anyways, I got that. And this is the other half of the airbox. And so on the Jeff Steele airbox, the intake air temperature sensor gets plugged into this bottom area right here, this big oval area. It's actually open now because I just cut it out with a Dremel. And the reason I did that is because if you're running this in a normal configuration, they don't use that snorkel with the flap. They just use an open snorkel or just open. And so they put the intake air temperature sensor right there, which is fine. If you run the snorkel like I am, what happens is that snorkel is closed, the flap is closed most of the time. And when it's closed, this is sealed. And so it chokes the engine and you get no air and the engine wants to just chug away and die. So on the real CSL airbox, this is actually open and has a tube that goes down to another complicated tube system that I'll figure out later. But I just needed to get that open so that when I'm running with the flap closed, the engine doesn't die on me. And then I can place the intake air temperature sensor, which is right here. This is right there. I can put this anywhere. A lot of guys put them in the brake ducts. I'll figure out something. So I got my intake air temperature sensor, flap control, or actually this is flap power. And then there's another cable around here somewhere. I'll figure it out. So anyways, I'm gonna do some more modifying and then hopefully I'll come back and I'll have an update that shows the airbox actually in there. All right, a lot of cool stuff. Hopefully I'll have this car drivable by this weekend. That would actually be pretty cool if I could take it somewhere and get it aligned and then start going through the emissions phases so that I can get it emission tested so that I can finally get it tagged and titled. That would be cool. So anyways, yeah, big update. I know I said that before, but I'm just very excited because the car looks so darn good. It really does. And I'm so thrilled to have an opportunity to have an M3 sedan and an M3 wagon. It's a lot of work, it really is, but this is something that's really cool. It's hand built and it's something that I can pass down to my children when I get older. Hopefully they'll appreciate the amount of work and blood, sweat, and tears that went into this. One of those, just want to keep it in the family type of deal. So yeah, anyways, we'll be back with another update.